And we are live. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Let me make sure everything is looking good. So far, so good. All right. Got to make sure because sometimes I go live and it's like, yeah, you say it says you're live, but then I'm not live. So, all right, give me 1 second here. Okay, looks good. All right, what's going on, everybody? And thank you so much for tuning in. Interesting times. I mean, it really is interesting times. You know, I talked about it yesterday with this whole shadow government, with the Democrats pushing this, and I'm still not hearing anyone in the mainstream media bringing that back up. No one's talking about it. Why is I'm like, why is Will Johnson the only one talking about it? I really don't understand. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So if you're just tuning in, please like, follow, subscribe, and also please share this video. Share the video. I would greatly appreciate it if you share the video. It would mean the world to me if you share this video. I would greatly and highly appreciate it. Okay, so let's get on with it. I do have, like, as usual, I do have some things I want to share with you. And one of the first things I want to share with you is about how this judge decided to basically intervene in President Trump's authority. Now, I talked about it all day yesterday, where the Democrats believe they're acting like, they know it's not true, but they're acting like there's 4 branches of the federal government, hence the shadow government. And they're finding every single liberal judge that they can to bring up some kind of lawsuit against President Trump and what he's doing. And there's actually a clip where what I've been saying, how the Democrats are acting like that they can come in and step in and tell President Trump that he has to stop attacking terrorists like the Houthis. You remember me talking about that, Shannon? And you just shared a clip with me where they're talking about that very thing. I mean, because this is what it is. President Trump is doing his job, and the Democrats, all they can think about, instead of helping their constituents, instead of doing what they need to do for the American people, they believe them stopping President Trump from doing positive things is the right thing to do to save the American people, to save democracy. It's really bizarre. And then on top of that, the way they're attacking Elon Musk. I mean, this is wild. It's really bizarre stuff. Here, Elon Musk, he's not doing anything but showing where he can save them money along with everybody else. And they're upset with Elon Musk for doing that. Does that mean there's something really, truly wrong with these people? Talking about the Democrat Party? Those that are in the Democrat Party. Is there something truly wrong with them? I mean, why are you upset with Elon Musk? I really don't understand. And then I started thinking, I do understand. Then I started thinking, when they found out that someone like Will Johnson is supporting President Trump, then what did they do? They went out and they started being really aggressive, started being violent towards people, wearing Trump hats, you know, like my beautiful MAGA hat right here. They would attack people physically, verbally, and even financially because you supported President Trump. And now look what they're doing. People riding up and down the street, probably had their Tesla vehicle for years now, before Elon teamed up with President Trump, riding around in a Tesla, and now they're riding around in a Tesla, looking around, wondering if some leftist is going to do something to them in their vehicle. Riding around doing this. And it's pretty despicable, actually, when you think about it. It's pretty despicable. And I see this all the time. And of course, the Democrats being the way they are, they don't see that they're doing anything wrong. Well, let me share this first thing with you. And of course, this is them on the Communist News Network talking about these judges. Listen to this.
politically, let us not pretend that Democrats have not in the past stated that a president of their party should not ignore judges. I remember AOC just a year or two ago talking about President Biden should ignore the ruling for judges as it pertains to forgiving student debt. There were a lot of Democrats who made that argument at the time. I disagreed. With that said, earlier today, we had Roberto Gonzalez on, former AG under George W. Bush, who was pretty clear. He didn't necessarily agree with the post from the president, but he said from his opinion as an attorney, he's almost certain that the Supreme Court would agree that the president has the authority to absolutely ship these criminals out of our country. And the fact that Democrats want to die on this issue, more power to them. More power to them. This is not a winning issue for Democrats.
Yeah.
It's really not. This is not a winning issue for the Democrats.
And she's right. It's not the issue. It's that they hate Trump.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You know what? She
Trump.
started saying it, right? That's not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is, you're right, Shannon.
Yeah.
The issue is we hate Trump. And if Trump is doing something positive, what do we need to do? We need to stop him. I mean, what is going on? What is really wrong with these people?
Yeah. And, I wonder, I think they're just out of touch. They are so used to being in power, and literally Trump and the Republicans, I have to give credit, it's not just Trump, the Republicans as a whole have really taken away almost all power from the Democrats. Almost everything. Where are they shining? I mean, is there anywhere we're like, wow, Democrats are really doing good at that? Nothing that that appeals to the American people.
Wait.
What?
That's beautiful. Say that again. Say that again. Do you know what you just said?
I don't actually remember. I just said, where are they shining? What exactly?
Name something.
They're not in anywhere.
What are the name something that the Democrats are doing that we're saying is beautiful?
Yeah. They're not shining on social media. They're not shining on the news. They're not shining.
That's profound, though.
In the Senate.
That is absolutely profound. That goes right along with what I've been saying. Like for many years, I've been asking people this question: name one thing that the Democrats have done that everybody in America can say, "Oh, you know what? That's great. That's wonderful." But as of right now, they're still doing the exact same thing. There's nothing that the Democrats have done that's been shining. Like, oh my goodness, you know what? Regardless of all of the rhetoric, regardless of what all the politics is happening, the Democrat Party is doing X, Y, Z to benefit the American people, and there's nothing.
No, if anything, now have, yesterday in New York, they were having protests at one of the, or was it Columbia? There was some college where they exposed, I was watching it on the Faulkner Report this morning, where they were handing out these pamphlets, and it was literally telling people how to protest. And I'm talking about like violently protesting, talking about wear gloves. Really?
Was this an article? Was it a video?
It was a pamphlet that she was talking about. She was showing the pamphlet on the screen, and I was like,
who was showing the pamphlet again?
The Faulkner Report.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just like, that is crazy. She's like, oh, so for them to say these are peaceful protesters, these are absolutely not. These people plan to be violent. They tell you how to not get caught. They tell you how to clean up the scene so there's no evidence left. Literally, this was in it. I was just sitting there. Well, who do you think created that pamphlet? Do you think it's just some innocent person going, oh, this would be a great idea? I mean, it looked like it was pretty well done. And let me tell you, it was in color. You and I both know that it costs a lot of money to have a whole bunch of things like that printed off.
A lot.
I do believe that Pakistan, I believe that our Palestinians, I believe Hamas has a lot to do with it. I believe Iran has a lot to do with it. They've admitted before that they've created these protesters in America. And now Hamas is getting hit hard. I saw one thing, like 6 of their leaders have been killed here recently.
Hamas?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that has to do with because they did not agree. They agreed to release
the terms
all of the people
of their agreement, right?
Dead or alive,
right.
And they refused to do it.
Yep.
And Israel is saying bye-bye, turning it into a parking lot. They brought it unto themselves. And the people that are there that know where these Hamas terrorist Palestinian people are hiding out and stuff, they're not informing the authorities.
No,
they're not informing the people saying, look, we want to get rid of them.
They're harboring them.
So they're
harboring the
assisting
Hamas.
in what they've been doing. So then here comes Israel, and then of course the world community. Oh my goodness, look what Israel's doing. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's just unbearable. It's unbearable what they're doing. Really? I mean, come on.
Do you know what's even more upsetting? Where's NATO?
Yeah. Let me get back. We can get to that, but let me get back to this here.
Yeah.
Because we can go
off on so many different
it's
topics.
So many stories, so many things happening.
It's time to get out of NATO. Just want to say that.
Yeah, it actually it's time to get out of the United Nations as well. But listen to this. Now, I've been saying this ever since this judge came up and was saying basically, President Trump, you have to tell these planes to turn around and come back. I know they're filled with these terrorists that you've deported out of the country that came into the country illegally, but the judge is saying you got to bring them back. And I said, what's happening, these judges are doing overreach. I've said it so many times. I'm going to be on a record that's on repeat. The record's not broken, okay? It's on repeat. This is the works of the shadow government. The shadow government is pushing this. It is because of the shadow government they're fighting President Trump for removing hardcore criminals. They're not moving women and children. They're not deporting them. There's not a single video of President Trump rounding up women and children and deporting them. There is video of him rounding up these hardcore criminals, and all of the Democrats are crying about it. Why are they crying about it? Listen to this.
Well, to the Chief Justice, I mean, for a guy who has spent the last 10 or so years claiming he wants to keep the court out of politics, I'm not sure why he just felt the need to insert himself into the middle of a political discussion today. That's number one. Number two,
but it was about a judge he's referring to.
He has no jurisdiction over that judge. If he's impeached, that's nothing. He has not. I'm saying he had no need to inject himself. And this is the guy who has spent the last 10 years saying, I want to keep the court out of these political discussions. That's exactly what he inserted himself into today. Setting that aside, I actually think the Trump folks have a pretty good argument. Pam Bondi made the case in court today.
Let me stop it really quick. This is kind of surprising, right? So do you know the whole background story with this, Shannon, when it comes to Justice Roberts? Because what he's talking about, because apparently he's interjecting himself into this.
Right.
So, because I guess at this point, he's looking at it like President Trump is addressing what these judges are doing, what they shouldn't be doing, and Justice Roberts are getting involved now. Well, that's how I'm taking it. So
he basically just chimed in on the fact that Trump said that the liberal judges need to be impeached. He specifically was talking
Justice
about,
Roberts saying that they need
Trump
to be impeached.
Said that.
Trump said that, but what is Justice Roberts saying?
So Justice Roberts said that he should not have that talk out there during political disagreements. To impeach somebody over a political disagreement is not right.
This is not political disagreement.
Process. He's saying there's a review processes for judge.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, but Justice Roberts is wrong. This is not a political disagreement. Partially. Okay, I'm going to say partially.
Well,
this is criminal. What he's doing is criminal. He's wanting to keep criminals in the country. He's interjecting himself where he should not be.
He is.
So listen to this last part here, because I've been saying this too. What's to stop the liberal judges from intervening in what President Trump is doing when it comes to the military?
Folks have a pretty good argument. Pam Bondi made the case in court today. He is operating under the Aliens Act. Aliens Act, yes, thank you. And he has every right to do that. He, by statute, can have these people deported and say they're a threat to national security. This judge cannot interfere. This is their argument, and I think it's a very good one. This judge cannot interfere the same way the judge couldn't come in and say he can't fire drone attacks onto the Houthis. So I actually think they have a very good argument and case to make in court.
That's exactly what I've been saying. So what's to stop these judges to come in and say, look, we know the Houthis been destroying cargo ships, attacking any ship or any country's ship that's going through that port that is in support of Israel. That's just taking goods and services. Don't even have anything to do with Israel. But yet they're taking goods to Israel, so they attack it. President Trump is saying no more. So what's to stop a judge from coming in? And again, no one is saying it. This is straight up the shadow government. Now, I want y'all to listen to this, because you have AOC. AOC actually, she put a statement out there trying to get everyone to believe that when Joe Biden was there, that Joe Biden should be able to, say, disregard anything that the judge is saying. Listen.
Are completely unqualified for their role. And so
hold on.
The news this afternoon, a couple hours ago, what did you think?
Well, I think rulings like this, and I think we've seen from the FDA and also from activity in Congress, that some of these rulings, I think we've been preparing and anticipating for there being these egregious overreaches by members of the judiciary appointed by a right-wing Republican Party whose goal for a very long time was to just pack these courts with partisan judges, often underqualified or completely unqualified for.
You hearing this? She's saying that Republicans want to put people that are not qualified in the position of a federal judge on the bench. Not qualified. She's not qualified. And then everybody that they want to put in the judge on the bench, they're doing it based on DEI, which you don't have to have any qualifications. You just have to meet the prerequisites that they deem that you should have to be in there. It's crazy.
For their role. And so there has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that the courts have the legitimacy and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So she's basically saying that when Joe Biden was there and Joe Biden was getting court orders from the Supreme Court, that he should just ignore it. Same thing when it came to the student loans. They were saying that you should just ignore it. Don't pay attention to what the court was saying. The Supreme Court. Now, see, there's some things. See, the Democrats going, well, they should be able to stop President Trump in everything that he's doing. But when the Democrats have a person in the White House, the courts should get out of the way unless they can stack the courts with Democrats. When Joe Biden was trying to pay for everyone's student loan, and we know why he was trying to pay for the student loans, because it was election season. And then when the court came back and said the federal government is not lawful for the federal government to pay off student loans. You can't pay off any loan. The federal government is not in the business of paying off loans that you agreed to pay for yourself. But they didn't care because it was election season. And what happened? The Democrats, along with AOC and others, were trying to say, oh, we need to look the other way. You don't need to pay attention to what the court is saying. And what did Joe Biden do? Joe Biden actually went out and found other funds for other things and was spending and sending money out for the student loans on that. Kind of like they were doing with USAID.
Kind of how
they
do
probably
with all the
did
money.
it through USAID.
How they do it with all the money. I mean, you even had, what's her name, Hagman. She said that they were funneling money through the Department of Education. Literally, they said she said it was an enormous amount. I think it was like $400 and some billion, and like 20 of it went to education. And the rest of it went to, counselors or, other people. That's what they do. They funnel
Somebody
the money.
was
He wasn't
pocketing
worried
that
about
money.
it. He's like, I'll find a way. You know why he did it? Because he wanted to win votes. That's the only reason why he did it.
Yeah.
But look at this. It is an all-out war right now against President Trump. This is a article on Gateway Pundit today. It says, Judicial coup. Well, you talked about this was a coup. Radical leftist judges wage all-out war against President Trump and the nation. It's important to say and the nation because this isn't just against Trump. This is what against the American people voted for. 129 legal challenges filed in 2 months, more than all U.S. presidents combined. The Democrats said that they were going to do this. They didn't even care what Trump was going to do. They just knew that they were going to fight him, so he couldn't do anything.
Wow.
How is it that another...
So leave that up.
Okay.
129 legal challenges filed within 2 months.
2 months alone.
2 months.
Yeah, he's only been
And
in there
remember,
2 months,
yeah. And see, this makes me think again, when President Trump and the American people won the election this past November, one of the first things that the Democrats did, they went onto the floor, they went onto social media, they went onto to these media outlets and said that they were going to fight Trump in the courts because they know that the people want what President Trump is doing. So they're going directly to the courts. Now, personally, what these judges are doing, all of them should lose their law license. Is there anyone in disagreement? Now, I'm going to look in the comments. I'm just kind of curious. Should they keep their law license or not?
If they are politicizing their position and not doing it according to the Constitution,
they're intervening. They're
abusing their power.
They're doing power overreach, right? They're going into areas where they should not even be involved in anyway. Do they not? Wait a minute. Now, hold on. Do they not have crime going on in these blue cities with these Democrats? But they're like taking the time. They can even take a Saturday and a Sunday, say, oh, wait a minute, we got to stop Trump.
Listen to this. Democrats have a lot of time other than working for the American people. You got Gavin Newsom doing podcasts. You have, of course, all these liberals organizing protests and bashing Trump in the halls of Congress. And then you have all the liberal media pushing their propaganda. You have judges that are taking the time to just look at what Trump is doing so they can counter what he is doing. Representative Gill said yesterday he filed impeachment papers against this judge over the Venezuelan gang being deported. And he said they're guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors. They absolutely are. They are abusing their power. They're not following the Constitution. They're not following their oath will. So what should happen? This has got to stop. The Democrats weaponize everything in the United States. We talk about they're not shining anywhere. They're not. And you know what they have to do to win? They have to weaponize everything. They have to weaponize the CIA, the FBI, the DOJ, Homeland Security. They weaponize the cities. They weaponize our schools against our children. They indoctrinate people. They weaponize the media. Now they're weaponizing judges. I mean, this is getting disgusting. I'm sorry. Do I sound like I'm yelling? I don't know. I'm just so tired of it because it's in the news, in our faces every single day.
Yeah, it's there all the time. And they're not, I mean, this is what you call a totalitarian organization, the Democrats, what they're doing. They don't care about this country. And as I mentioned multiple times, why are they not trying to do what they can for their constituents? See, they have it in their mind stopping Trump. Like I said a minute ago, they have it in their mind stopping Trump is doing what they need to do for their constituents because our constituents want us to stop Trump. The past 4 years where the economy was in shambles, where people were losing jobs left and right, unless you got, the only way you got a job is if you went into the federal government, because that's the only job that people were getting hired on for, and then they were reporting those numbers. In a lot of cases, those jobs were temporary. But the last 4 years, the Democrats showed their hands. And now they're upset because here comes President Trump making tremendous changes. And the Democrats are like, oh my goodness, President Trump is making these changes. He's making himself look good. The people are liking President Trump. He's up in the polls. The Democrats are down in the polls. And they're trying to scramble around right now, trying to figure out how to salvage the rest of the remaining of the Democrat Party. And you know what? I'm going to say this again. I want them to go away. I want them to be crushed so much to where people like, y'all don't even have anything in this fight. Did you know Bernie Sanders is saying that they're going to that they're working on creating another
Third
party
party.
within
Yeah.
side of the Democrat Party,
I agree.
because the current state of the Democrat
Yeah.
Party
I
has
believe
been
it.
just completely demolished, which is a good thing.
And
So
you
now
know-
they're fighting amongst each other. Who's going to lead the party? They don't even know.
But you know what? Well, I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you say President Trump is doing this and President Trump is doing that. And we can say Elon is exposing this and Elon is exposing that. But you know what really needs to happen? I need to see these Republicans get in there and pass some legislation to make this, to go along with making America great again. We need them to eliminate wasteful spending and get rid of these agencies that no longer work for America first.
Yeah.
We need him to go ahead and make sure that trans men aren't going to be in sports anymore. We need to make sure. I mean, there's so many things that are happening right now. We
Well,
need them,
put it like this.
we need them to start passing legislation.
Absolutely. Because
They
I mean,
can
we're
pass
2 months into
legislation
it.
about woke judges. Pass it.
Yeah,
Get it into law.
they've been there for 2 months now, and
CR bill is done for
they've
6
done the
months.
CRB bill's done.
Let's
now
go. Let's get to
it's
work.
time for them to start
Take some
grinding it
action.
and start going at it and getting these laws passed, because they have the opportunity to do it right
Yes,
now.
they do.
They have the opportunity to do it right now. Listen to Scott Jennings as he's talking about this judge.
And DEI
These
legally illegal.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
But look at these judges. They're activist judges. Listen to this.
I am quite sure that some of these judges are dramatically overstepping their authority. And I think not just in the rulings that we talked about in the intro, but in other rulings, there are legitimate questions about whether the president's core constitutional functions are being impeded. I would hope that the Supreme Court would get involved in some of these questions sooner rather than later so that we can get some clarity here, because I think it's crazy to think that individual district court judges should be able to stop the president from shipping terrorists out of the country. Or even tonight, there's a ruling on the military saying the commander-in-chief of the military can't set standards for who can be in the military. All of these rulings from these individual district court judges, I think it's ludicrous, and the Supreme Court ultimately is going to have to be the final arbiter.
They're going to have to get involved at some point, because these judges, again, the shadow government is doing an overreach, trying to tell President Trump what he can and can't do. I mean, I look at this and I'm like, I get frustrated just looking at all of this. I'm irritated. I mean, I really am, because, President Trump, it'd be one thing if President Trump was doing stuff that was actually harming the American people. But what has he done that's harmed the American people? I mean, it's a valid question, is it not? What has President Trump done that has harmed the American people? I mean, if you want to talk about liberal feelings, well, okay. And they're always butthurt about something. It doesn't matter what it is. But President Trump is doing stuff that's going to put the country back on track. Why would anyone get in the way of that? Now, if President Trump start going really rogue and start doing some of this leftist wokeism stuff, then we would have a major issue. But he's not doing any of that. He's doing just the opposite. And because he's doing the opposite, these people, which I believe are filled with demonic spirits, the reason why they're fighting against President Trump, because they see what he's doing is positive. That's the whole gist of all of this. And like what the female said on CNN, she said it's not about that. You know what it's about? And people have heard this so many times. It is about good versus evil. It really is. It's not even about politics. It's good versus evil. And we live in a world to where these people, they know what they're doing is wrong, but they have such a disdain for President Trump and such a hatred for Almighty God. They feel that they need to do this just because. Like, nope, we don't want that to be true. We want this to be true. And you know how they come up with the whole expression, well, that's your feelings, or that, that's your truth. That's your truth. Yeah. You know, when they say that, that's your truth.
Yeah.
You're like, no, 2 + 2 equals 4. No, that's your truth. No, it's reality. It's reality. But they want to change it to where they can be the arbiters of what is right and what's wrong. Here's another one I want to share with you.
I just want to say, I believe honestly, at this point, and they say the money is the root of all evil. Sometimes I feel like your feelings and your emotions are the root of evil, because the devil makes you feel a certain way, right? And so you feel justified in what you're doing and what you're saying, and you're deceived. And I think these people are gruesomely deceived.
They really are. And you know what a lot of it is too? Because the Democrat Party doesn't have anything to stand on. It kind of goes with what you said earlier. What are they shining with?
Yeah, nothing.
What can you say that the Democrat Party is doing that's making them shine? That's like, oh my goodness, they're champion. There's nothing.
No, in fact, they're doing the very opposite.
They're doing just the opposite. Listen to this.
But I think the problem is no one knows what the Democratic Party stands for. No one knows what their policy positions are. I think that's a part of the reason why many Democrats are angry. You look at the recent data that just came out, most younger men, Republicans. People of color starting to teeter more Republicans. Younger voters writ large starting to teeter more Republicans, because they look at the Democratic Party for answers and solutions for a litany of problems that they have experienced over the last 8 years. And the Democratic Party has made a lot of promises, but they haven't delivered much on many of those promises, John. So this is an opportunity for the Republican Party, I would argue, to actually offer solutions to the problems that Americans face.
You know what? And that goes right along with what you were just saying, Shannon, that now the CR bill has been passed. The Republicans have every opportunity right now. There's no excuse. They need to be pushing these bills through. They need to be pushing them through.
Yeah.
Even if they have to do, 5 a day, go ahead and do one bill, whatever it is, pass that legislation in the House, get it over to the Senate. Pass another one, get over to the Senate. Stop jacking around.
Issue legislation, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
You know what?
They can do
this
5.
Is what I would even challenge.
They can go into the chambers and say, here's the first one. This is about removing all of these men in the military wearing dresses.
I was going to say, take one executive order
right
after
there,
another.
Put it over there. Yeah, every executive order. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. How many executive orders have President Trump done so far?
Oh, gosh.
Can you look it up really quick? I'm just kind of curious. How many executive orders have President Trump done so far? And every single executive order that President Trump has done thus far, they should do a bill on each and every one of them and start pushing them out. Here's the next one. They can do 10 in 1 hour if they get off their butts and start doing their jobs. I mean, really? Seriously? But see, they want to go in and negotiate. Well, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. If you sign on to this, you sign on to that. And these rhinocrats and these democrats are all on Capitol Hill. Well, what do I get out of it? What do you mean, what do you get out of it? You already got the position. If it's going to benefit the American people, do it and move on. I can't stand politicians be like, well, what do I get out of it? See, they get up there and they all think they become like kings and queens. Like, what do I get? It's all about me.
Super quick, Josh. Very quick. I just think as an independent, someone who's not a Democrat or Republican, I just have to say it.
Really sounds pretty liberal to me.
What was laid bare very clearly is that the Democrats have no strategy because the head of the Democrats in the House and the Senate totally disagreed, and they had an open fight about it. So it's been 5 months since President Trump won. 5 months. That should be enough time to, wipe off the tears and get back up and get back into the fight, and then think about what the fight is. Fight is not a strategy. Fight is what you do when you have a strategy. And if you don't have a strategy, you're not going to make good decisions. So everything comes from not having a strategy. And if I were a Democrat and a part of the Democratic Party, I would say, just pick one. And then at least when people do the wrong thing,
10 seconds or less. Yeah, I thought it was.
They can't pick just one thing. President Trump has their head spinning like they're in the movie The Exorcist. They don't know which way to go, which way to look at.
And you know what I think is funny? The Democrats are all laughing at that.
Well, because that's what, I agree. Pick one. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. No, they're not. They want everyone they want to have this perception like, that we're dignified and we're working in this for the people. They're not doing anything.
Proud of Schumer. He didn't give in.
You were.
He didn't. Well, he didn't.
Yes, he has Scott Jennings' endorsement. Excellent.
He didn't give in to the hypocrisy of the rest of the Democratic Party that had fought so hard against government shutdowns and the filibuster. He refused to give in to any of that, which was just a few months ago. He didn't give in to that. He did the responsible thing. I'm glid he and President Trump worked together to keep the government open.
He just wanted you guys to.
Wow,
I mean,
it's funny. He's like a troll, like Trump is, right? He says things. I'm so glad that Schumer.
Yeah, I know, right?
That is so hilarious.
And they go, oh, he endorsed Schumer. He endorsed Schumer. And you know what? And he's 100% trolling them.
Do you know that Schumer, when he wanted to run for office, do you know where his first donation came from?
From President Trump.
It came from President Trump.
Came from President Trump. President Trump gave him his first donation to run for politics, huh?
So talking about regrets, I'm sure Trump was like, man, he's been a pain in my butt ever since.
Well, no, in the beginning, because President Trump, he was a Democrat.
He was a Democrat.
He was a Democrat. Yeah, and he gave money to the Clintons. He gave money to a whole bunch of Democrats.
Absolutely.
And then he was like looking across the aisle, and he gave money to both parties and even independents. He gave money to Al Sharpton, gave money to Jesse Jackson for inner city work that they were doing, supposedly that they were doing. He helped out so many people, not because of who they were or what they were doing, but he was just helping out people. But now here, President Trump helping out people, and they're upset with him because he's helping the wrong people, according to the Democrat Party.
You know what I find is interesting is Trump turned from Democrat to Republican during the Obama years, especially the second term. That's the same time that you turned officially from Democrat to Republican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I made my
Obama
transition.
years were such a turning point in the United States. I don't know if a lot of people recognize all the damage that Obama did to our country and the division in our country. And I wanted to say this. I looked up how many executive orders Trump has done. He's done 89 executive orders since the beginning of his second term.
89.
But gosh, they're very strong, powerful executive orders.
Hey, let me say thank you to Ohio Kim and to Filter Dog for the pills, the red pills on pill.net. Thank you so much for those. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Listen to Stephen Miller again address the issue about these judges. And I'm talking about this because, again, I'm waiting for someone to come out and say the shadow government.
You're saying it.
Yeah, but they're not saying it.
Oh.
And I'm like, why are they not saying it? This is exactly what this is. Call it out for what it is. Somebody other than Will Johnson.
This is arguably, of all the statutes on the books concerning national security, this law arguably is the strongest law that exists in terms of delineating presidential power. And why is that? Because it doesn't affect American citizens, Sean. It doesn't affect Americans. It only applies to foreign citizens invading our country. So the president is operating at the apex of his authority as commander-in-chief to repel that invasion, to send the invaders out of this country. This gang, Tren de Aragua, doesn't just murder people, Sean. It tortures them. It relishes in inflicting pain and suffering on innocent civilians. And this judge, he wanted to take 250 foreign terrorists and set them free on American soil to rape and pillage and murder. And by the way,
crazy.
If you turn,
you hear this? This is exactly what it is. He wanted he told President Trump verbally, right, or orally, that you need to have those planes turn right back around right now and release every single prisoner that you have on these planes. Every single thug, criminal, you need to release them back into the population until I, the judge, can vet them. And then I, the judge, the liberal judge, can tell you how you can do your job, Mr. President. There is a huge problem with this.
Hey, well, I just want to bring
huge
this up.
problem.
There's
with
some
this.
breaking news. I don't even see it on Fox News yet, but Newsmax is reporting on Truth right now.
You have the article on it?
No,
Okay.
It said, but Newsmax put it out on Truth. It says law enforcement units have swarmed the area surrounding CEI headquarters in Virginia after a man approached the main gate.
Is it CEI or CIA?
Oh, CIA. What did I say?
Is it CIA?
CIA.
Okay.
Yeah. And he approached the gate and began making threats, and then shots were fired.
Really? This just happened just now, moments ago.
That's what it's saying right now.
So I'm pretty sure
shots
more information about
fired
that.
outside CIA headquarters. I'm sorry if I said something different.
Isn't that interesting? So the JFK files dropped yesterday, And we already know like the CIA's involvement and all that. This is something that's been going on for years. We've all known the CIA's involvement with JFK. Without going into detail, you already know all the detail. And then the docs get released yesterday, which just confirmed what we already knew. Right? We already knew this. So I don't know why they didn't release the docs a long time ago, but nonetheless, they were released yesterday. But now today, you're telling me, Shannon, breaking news, that shots fired in front of a CIA. What state was it in again?
Virginia.
In Virginia. It's right there. It's right there. Imagine that. So what is that all about? Is it just a coincidence?
Yeah, Newsmax doesn't even have it on the article on their front page yet. So, but it's on True Social. If you want to go to Newsmax on True Social, I found it there. You know what else is interesting, Will? The more you look at this, there's so much going on. But I don't think I reported it here. But yesterday I told you the judge that is over the Venezuela case, the one that is fighting.
One that the judge I was just talking about, we've been talking about, basically told President Trump that he needs to have those planes turn around so he can release them all into the country.
Right.
Stephen Miller was just talking about the same judge.
Yeah, I just want to say a few things that we didn't say here. His wife, I showed yesterday through my research that his wife, the judge's wife, actually opened up an abortion clinic in Virginia. He's out of District of Columbia. She opened it, and she got the money from a grant called Lidman grant, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a socialist grant. It's actually funded through an NGO. Which we saw that was possibly funded through USAID.
And if possibly the NGO got its funding from USAID,
and that
more than
USAID
likely.
Funded Pennsylvania College, Pennsylvania University. And today, Trump announced
yesterday.
He's taken away the money from Pennsylvania.
What's 175 million?
Yeah. And I thought that Trump knows. Yeah. Trump's not stupid. He knows these people are connected and it's all about the money and they're fighting him all about the money. I guess there's some other stuff about other family members from him too, but I just thought it interesting that Trump knows exactly where his wife got his money from. And so he's cutting off the university in Pennsylvania. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, to go back and talking about how the Democrats are, they don't have anything to stand on. They don't know what direction they're going. Their heads are spinning, like I said, on The Exorcist. Well, Chuck Schumer, y'all just heard Scott Jennings, giving endorsement to Chuck Schumer because Chuck Schumer did the right thing. Well, the Democrats are angry with Chuck Schumer because he didn't shut down the government. See, when President Trump was running for the election, and Joe Biden was there, and the Republicans and the Democrats, because they had control of both the House and the Senate, right? They had control, or they had control over Senate, not the House. But nonetheless, when they did have it, they were passing these bills because we all got upset with Mike Johnson because Mike Johnson said, well, we need the Democrats to do it. When they did the bill, the CR, when Joe Biden was there, we as conservatives were saying, shut it down. Because we knew that they were going to pass the CR for wasteful spending, for stuff that's not going to even benefit the American people. We were like, shut it down for that reason. Not because we want people to be in harm's way. We don't want people to be able to pay for their daycare. That's not the reason. Because of the wasteful spending, we were like, shut it down. But in this case, the Democrats want the government to shut down because President Trump is in the White House. Get Trump. Get Trump. That's the reason why they want the government to shut down. President Trump is making the government smaller, shrinking the swamp, and the Democrats are upset about that. So they want to shut the government down to try to make President Trump look bad. And Chuck Schumer said, no, we can't do that because if we do that, it's only going to make the Democrats look worse than they already are. And it's not like they need help. Well, of course, Shucky Ducky Schumer goes on CBS Morning and they're having a conversation with him. And he's out there trying to, to try to lift himself back up, trying to say, I had to do this. I had to do this for the Democrat Party. Listen.
Angered by, and we've seen it described as a civil war, as a train wreck, Many Democrats believe, if you have a government shutdown, that will force President Trump and Republicans to the negotiating table. Why not use your vote to push back and fight?
Because the idea that they would go to the negotiating table is they don't do it.
Really? So Republicans, when they have a bill and the Democrats don't want to go to the negotiation table, it's just Republicans though, right? It's just Republicans. It's always Republicans and Democrats.
Well, you know what? Democrats set this precedent,
especially they really
under
did.
Joe Biden. They locked out Republicans from so many different things, not negotiating with them. And then they would say, oh, we're reaching across the aisle. And they would reach across the aisle to the most rhino Republican they could find. And
Liz
say,
Cheney, Adam Kissinger types.
We brought this one in.
Yeah, see, this is bipartisan. See, we are bipartisan. Really?
This is a new group. This is not the old group. Let me explain. I knew when I took this vote, there'd be a lot of protests, but I felt I had to do it for the future, not only of the Democratic Party, but the country. Because as bad as that CR bill was, and it was bad, a shutdown is 10 times worse. Let me give you what happened.
See, listen to this, right? He did it for the Democrat Party in the country. No.
But it's interesting how Wednesday he was completely willing to do a shutdown.
That was before he got yelled at.
Yeah, so how
before
was
he got yelled
so
at.
bad on Friday, but Wednesday when you wanted to shut it down, it wasn't so bad. Make it make sense.
Been blamed on the Democrats.
And you're right, Gail. But can I just explain
what?
But
you had been saying you were not going to vote. I think people were upset with you, and people are very upset with you because you had led people to believe that, no, I'm going to vote against.
Okay, well, let me explain why first the shutdown is terrible. People ought to know that. The executive branch, in this case, Musk, Doge, and this horrible guy Vogt, who have no concern for working people, would have had sole power to determine what opens and what closes. They determine what is essential. You can't go to court. So on day 2, get rid of SNAP and food for hungry kids. It's not essential. Day 4, get rid of mass transit aid. Let New York City do it. Not essential. Cut back on Medicaid and health care. Within 2 weeks, everyone would have been howling.
He's lying. President Trump has constantly said that he's not going to do away with Medicare. Now, if there's wasteful spending in Medicare, Social Security, everyone should be in agreement of getting rid of the wasteful spending. But they keep pushing it that he's going to do away with medical care, or he's going to do away with Social Security. It is a bald-faced lie. And then you notice he said that if the government shut down and then President Trump and Elon Musk with Doge can say what is essential, what needs to stay open, they didn't want that because they said that he could not go to the courts. They could not implement the shadow government if that's the case. If that was the case, that's it right there. He just said it. They would not be able to go to the courts. Let me share something else with you. Here's some good news, right? Here's some good stuff. And there's some good in, I guess, the radical left and all involved in this one too. If someone is returning home from space, right? What's political about this? What is political about this? These are human beings, American citizens out in space, and they return home. This shouldn't even be anything political. This should be, oh my goodness, look at the achievement. But the left, they can't help themselves. They turned it political. And it started under Joe Biden because these astronauts that were stranded, Joe Biden refused or did not allow Elon Musk to say, okay, yeah, go ahead and retrieve them, bring them back. Joe Biden, this could have been happening under Joe Biden. This would be like, oh, look what Joe did. But nope, because Elon Musk was associated with President Trump during that time, and they said, no, we can't do it. So they rather allow people to just be stuck out in the middle of nowhere, right? Instead of helping them because of their association with President Trump. It shouldn't be happening. This is amazing.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
Right? Look at that.
And SpaceX Freedom, splashdown. Good main release.
Copy splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
Welcome home. And that's all it should be. It shouldn't, none of it should be political. Right? These are human beings that were out in space and they came back because of, that's what I'm saying, because of what Elon Musk did, because apparently NASA was having issues. And Elon Musk goes out there, and because Elon Musk is associated with it, the Democrats are going like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. This is terrible. And listen, is there anybody watching right now that have it in their mind that they were not stranded? Now, they had an opportunity to come back but they thought the other craft that was up there that they can return home in, they thought it might have some damage.
It was.
They had something going on with it, right. And they did not want to risk it. They did not want to risk it, putting the astronauts in it and come back and something dramatic happens. Right? I mean, that's things you have to do. That's just the way it is. But now, like I said, it shouldn't be political. Leave it up to Democrats.
Hey, let me just talk to that a little bit. There was the idea that the astronauts were stranded up there. If you're an astronaut, right, this is what you live for. You pray to be able to be chosen for a mission and going up into space. And there was the problem with the space liner, with the Boeing, but they could have at any time, NASA could have done something to try and retrieve them. And they didn't need to, right? Because there's a cycle there were already two astronauts up there that had come up on this capsule. That capsule was still attached to the mission, and NASA decided it would be better just for the normal logistics to leave them up there for longer. And as the astronauts themselves said, it's like they loved being up there. So, it's like if you're a space nerd, as they are and I am, it's like being sent to Hawaii for a 1-week vacation and finding out, no, actually you're going to be able to spend, 8 months here or 10 months there. So this idea of them being stranded, I really felt was kind of the politics getting involved. And, NASA has contingency plans. NASA understands what it takes and what the problems are.
So why in the world did Elon Musk have to get involved?
Wow. He's so...
Are you hearing this, right? Why did Elon Musk have to get involved? I don't understand that.
Obviously, the people are not going to start crying and go, please bring me home, please bring me home, right? They wanted to come home.
Yes.
There were circumstances where NASA could not get them. NASA themselves admitted they could not get them home.
Yes.
That's why they had to reach out to Elon. And so then Elon had to figure out, because of course he doesn't have, there's different technology and different, attachments and stuff to get them. He had to come up with a way to go up there and get them.
And bring them home. So again, why did Elon Musk have to get involved if NASA could do all this? See, the Democrats, they are the ones making this political.
There was one guy that used to be a part of NASA. He was an astronaut. And he said the only reason why NASA is alive today and still going is because of Elon Musk. If it wasn't for him, the poor technology, the poor organization of NASA would have already been gone. But Elon Musk has revived and brought breath back into NASA. And I believe Trump is
in space travel and, people getting interested in going to the moon again.
And because
possibly
Elon has
Mars.
such energy and is making so many great, he's doing better. He's done more things than NASA has. And I bet NASA's budget is substantially greater than his.
Oh, it is.
Of course it is.
Oh, it is. For this, it most definitely is.
Because they probably need to spend $2 billion on researching whether this part will work before it works 10 years later.
Well, the interesting thing is that when NASA is doing something for one thing, for example, I'm going to give a lame analogy here. Let's say they're creating a boat that has 7 sides to it instead of 4 or 6, right? 7-side boat. And what they'll do is they'll take not just a month, they'll take 18 months to look at the boat, to study the boat before they even decide that the boat needs to be even created. That's the problem. They take so long, so much time to do all of this. And it shouldn't be the case. But Elon Musk, he's cutting out the red tape. He's like, let's get going. But that's the way Democrats are. and these bureaucrats, because it's all about money. See, if you can prolong that 7-side boat, I'm just making a lame analogy here. If you can prolong it from 1 month to 18 months, that means that 18 months, there's money being generated. It's all about money for them. They're not actually out to try to do the right thing. They're really not. But I thought it was really awesome. I thought it was really amazing. I'm all about space travel. I'm a sci-fi guy through and through. I think I've watched all of the Star Trek, not some of these new ones because they've gone completely woke. But I've watched like all the original ones. I watched all the Star Trek, all of the Star Wars. I mean, I watch all of them. Other sci-fi movies. I'm a sci-fi nerd, if you will. Right? I really am. So I love the idea of space travel and all of that. And I'm not a flat earther. There's some people that are flat earthers. And to each his own. If you want to be a flat earther, by all means. They're even saying that the splashdown this here. Let me bring it back up. The splashdown here, what you see here, the flat earthers are saying that this is all CGI. Like none of this is real. All this is CGI. That didn't actually happen, according to flat earthers. Right. And then you can see the water. Like you can see, look, right there, the line starts there. If you look, it goes straight across. There's no curve. See, that's what the Democrats, they're more like they are Democrats, right? These flat earthers, they go, oh, look, there's no curve. See, that's proof right there that it's flat. And then I always ask this question, and every single time they ignore it. So if you are a flat earther, look, I mean, by all means, believe what you want to believe. It's all good. I'm not mad at you. But I just want you to answer this one question. Maybe you'll put it in the chat. Because you say this is proof that the earth is flat. My question to you is, how small do you think the earth is? Right? How small do you think it is? It's a really simple question. You think anyone mad at me, Shannon, for saying I'm not a flat earther? I don't believe it. I think it's an interesting topic. Every time I bring it up to Shannon and I show her images with what the flat earthers are saying, and she's like, well.
I said, don't show me that nonsense.
She's like, I don't want to see that.
We got bigger battles than.
She's like, I don't want to see any of that. Yeah. She's like, I don't want to see any of that. But I'm just kind of curious. Y'all leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. We have a
question on Facebook.
Okay.
Somebody said, brother, what do you think about, this is from Jess Wolf Towers. He says, brother, what do you think about Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard are just all show?
I have my reservations right now about Pam Bondi. I want her to be successful. But you remember last time President Trump was in office, the first attorney general that he had, do you remember who that was, Shannon? Do you remember who his first attorney general was the first time he was in office, President Trump? It was Jeff Sessions. You know who was after that, right? Barr. Both Sessions and Barr did nothing. They did nothing to stop the corruption. They could have prevented a lot of corruption that we saw take place. They did nothing. As of right now, Pam Bondi, because she released that Epstein, it put a stain on her. It really did. And then she come out and she did videos saying that she's upset because she thought she was told that she had all the information. And to go along with my producer, she was saying that you are in that position and they automatically give you these docs and you're not asking where's the rest when it's just 178 docs. I think it was right at 200 docs and you're not asking. And according to her, she kept asking, are there any more? Are there any more? And then someone whistleblowed it to her, apparently, before she released it, to my understanding. Before she released the one they were all out there holding it up, that she was aware that there was actually more docs. She should have canceled that one. And again, it goes back to them saying what they're going to do.
Well, today,
don't tell anybody that you're going to do anything unless you're going to do it, and you drop it out there and you put it out there. Now, President Trump, the other day, he did it. President Trump came out and he says, we're going to drop the JFK files tomorrow.
And you know who's in
guess
charge
what?
of that?
They actually dropped the following day.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard.
So she did drop them.
So you got Pam Bondi And Kash Patel did a video where he's at an FBI facility where they're training, and he got on the FBI gear like it's like all a PR thing, and he's looking tough. And I'm like,
recruiting video.
Yeah, a recruiting video. I'm like, really? Dude.
He did another video talking about I'm on your side, talking about, the FBI and everybody needs
They haven't done a single thing since they've been there. So then I was thinking, well, maybe they were waiting on Dan Bongino to show up before they actually did something.
Actually, they did make some arrests on some of the top 10 wanted in the United States. They have made some arrests since Kash Patel has been in office. It's not big headline news because it's names that people don't all know, but he has been making some arrests.
They need to go ahead and get some of these high profile criminals.
That's true. We want people in government.
Look, he talked about Adam Schiff and all the criminal activity Adam Schiff did all this time. And where's Adam Schiff? Adam Schiff is still doing these little videos out there trying to get ahead of it. If they do go after Adam Schiff, then Adam Schiff can say, see, I told you, I knew they were coming after me. This is why I've been speaking out. He's trying to get public opinion on his side right now. Where's Fauci? Where's Fauci?
Yeah, it's true.
Where is Fauci? Where's Mayorkas? Mayorkas kept telling everybody that the border's secure and all of these hardcore criminals are in our country terrorizing Americans. Where's Mayorkas?
Yeah, and we actually
These people should be apprehended.
We actually know that they say that they were holding people and they were actually releasing them. So they completely lied. The paperwork was a complete lie, right? But they have only been in office for a short period of time. We're talking about, a couple of maybe a couple weeks. So we need to give them time. Trump and Elon have spoiled us. We were getting stuff every single day, so we expect the same thing. I'm going to give them a little bit of time. I do want to say one thing before we get off here. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, just issued a scathing court filing rejecting the notion.
You want to show it on the screen? Is that it there?
Yeah.
We can put it on the screen? I'll put it on the screen.
From Judge Boasberg that the judiciary is superior to the president when it comes to a foreign policy.
So she's putting posts out. There's posts of stuff that she's doing. I wish they would just. Yeah, they need to do something really explosive, filing. So we were like, "Oh my goodness, look, she's strong. She's doing it." And I want to, look, I want her to be successful, but I want her to do what we voted for President Trump to do. Stop. Seriously, they could have given us something by now. Pacify us by all means. Give us something, right? Not something that we've already known about, like the Epstein files. That was a total, my goodness. All right, can you put the website down at the bottom, Shannon? Shelly on Facebook, I just saw the comment from Shelly on Facebook. She says, I wish they would return your stars to your page. I do too. Yeah, I do too. Facebook if you go, and you know what? I do too. I wish they would. I haven't done anything wrong. But if you wanna support me, you can go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, which you can see it right there in the lower third /donate. Or you can go to peel.net, or you can go over to Rumble and and bless me with a Rumble rant, or you can go over to YouTube and hit me with a super chat. There's so many different ways. My website and the other ones that are allowing it is you can bless me everywhere, but other than Facebook.
Your website, there's many different options. People can become a monthly supporter. Right there at the top. We also have other platforms that you can donate to if you choose to. Some people don't like to use them, although we always feel blessed when you go to them. And then also you can mail your donation. But all you have to need to do is go to uniteamericafirst.com/donate and support the channel. We really appreciate you because I hate to tell you, as much as people hate Facebook, they used to be our number one platform for, monetizing our videos, and since they have taken our monetization completely away, it's been pretty tough.
Yeah, it really has. It really has. So thank you everyone for sharing this video. Thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up. If you're watching on Rumble, I'm going to ask you, please hit the thumbs up on Rumble. Same thing on YouTube. Please hit the thumbs up.
And if you're new,
subscribe.
Subscribe to whichever platform you're watching on.
Yes, please.
We are here every day at
11 o'clock Central. 11 o'clock Central every day, 11 o'clock Central right here. And we are live as well on X American News, which goes everywhere as well.
That's on.
Yep, it goes everywhere. All right, everybody. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Stay safe out there. Hey, when I go live on LFA, which is my next show that I do, in 55 minutes from now, I'm going to show you stuff that I can't show you because I'm live on Facebook and YouTube right now. But if y'all want to see some of this other stuff that I'm going to do, go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, and you'll be able to see it right there. Scroll down a little bit, Shannon. Keep going. Right there. Culture Wars at the top of the hour. Come over there. I'm going to show you stuff that I can't show you here. So by all means, come join me. God bless everyone. See you over there.